Next year, I'm going to see Hamilton live for the first time. I've watched it bunches of times on Disney+, but I've never gotten to see it live, and now that it's coming to the Wharton, I finally have the chance. One of my favorite parts is when General Washington calls for Alexander Hamilton, and Hamilton thinks he's gonna get in trouble, but Washington wants to ask him for his assistance, wants to offer him a job. And he mentions that Nathaniel Greene and Henry Knox had both wanted to hire Hamilton, but Hamilton turned them down. Now, Hamilton knew that Greene and Knox wanted him to be their secretary, and what he really wanted was the fame and acclaim that could come from fighting and taking command on the battlefield. Hamilton gets really defensive, and Washington asks, "Now, why are you upset?" And Hamilton interrupts him. He's like, I'm not upset. You know, it's like that kind of energy. It's just so classic. It's like, no, why are you upset? I'm not, you know. Have you ever talked to someone who's just clearly upset, but they deny it left and right? Or better yet, have you ever done that yourself? A few weeks ago, I was on a Zoom meeting for a CORE workshop, and CORE is Communities Organizing for Racial Equity. At the end of the meeting, we did this checkout, and I realized that part of our discussion that night had triggered a feeling of unsettled insecurity that I used to have as a child. And so we wrapped up the meeting. It was like 9 p.m., and so I went to unwind, and my husband, Nathan, asked me a question, and I just had this flash of thoughts and feelings. And then my response related to his question, but didn't really answer the question. And he was like, okay. You know, that kind of response that lets me know that he thinks I'm mad. And I was like, I'm not mad. I don't know why you're asking me that. And he was like, all right, I don't know why you said that, but that's fine. I took a few minutes that night to reflect and realize I didn't really know why I answered that way either. So I apologized. And then I took a few more days to reflect. And I realized that in my flash of thoughts and feelings, I first felt trapped in the question, and then frustrated by the question because it wasn't really one that I needed to answer. And where I would typically have the flexibility to, tell him to go figure it out himself, my body and brain were still processing that unsettled insecurity I used to have as a child. And so I didn't have flexibility in that moment, and I snapped. I told him I wasn't mad, but I was. And it took me a while to figure out why and where that all came from. And this obviously happens with other emotions. Someone is downcast, but insists that they're happy. Someone looks terrified, but they say that they're fine. Sometimes our words don't match our emotions. But let's pause here for a chat question. Where have you noticed that a person's words don't match their emotions? Now, keep this light. We're not opening the box to complain about the people in your life. Talk about yourself or a situation from a movie or a TV show. Take a minute and talk about it.